Hi, it's nice to meet you. I'm Jamie Gomes, and this is the podcast where I take an adult gummy and then I interview random people until I get to meet Snoop Dogg. And I'm actually interviewing someone I adore right now. It's Joey
Oh.
Fortman. And Joey, tell
Oh.
us about you. Like,
You
she's one
know
of
what's
my
funny?
favorite people ever.
You and
It's
I
hip hop. That's how I love you. But anyway,
Oh,
sorry, keep
really?
going. Yeah.
No, but you and I have known you for a bazillion years, but I don't think we've ever had a conversation. So this is
I think
awesome.
we've even been in the same place at the same time
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
And we've just been in passing because what people don't realize about those brand events, I think it was Disneyland we were together, is they don't realize how
Oh.
much work they are. Like
Oh,
you,
that was tough.
wow, Disney, the mouse doesn't mess around. They
Yeah.
invite you out there and you get to do stuff that's magical. I mean, we
Yeah.
were in secret buildings that I didn't even know existed, that you've
Yeah.
only heard about in rumors and stuff.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
man,
did you ever go to the one that was at Disney World?
yes.
Where they're
Which one did
giving
you do
away
at Disney?
overnights in the Princess Castle?
Didn't you stay in the Princess Castle? Was
No,
that you?
no.
Well,
No.
oh,
I mean,
well,
I
I would
love
do
Disney, but I'm
anything.
not a diehard. But I will tell you, going to Disneyland, now that we're talking about we were Disney moms for a certain short while, and now it's just so
Yeah,
different on the internet. But going to
it's true.
Disneyland, I didn't really get the whole Disney thing. I wasn't there yet, which is I think part of the draw of why Disney was interested in me, because I'd never been to Disney. I didn't grow up with that opportunity. And
Same.
when we
I
went
was
to
poor. We didn't go to Disney. I mean, I love Disney movies though. I
we
love
went
Belle.
my one vacation, Jamie, was Branson, Missouri. That's it. That's all I got
Oh,
growing up.
San Antonio. We would go to the Riverwalk because it was a drive, right? Like it was so exciting. It was 119 degrees there. I just want to say it was so hot.
I got
I was
engaged
at the Riverwalk
there.
or
In
at
front of the
Branson.
Alamo, the place where what's his name, peed in it. Yeah, don't they have some really bad history in front of the Alamo?
The Alamo is very weird. And then there was a movie that was made there and Billy Bob Thornton was in it. Texas is an odd place.
I don't know.
Now
I
that
lived there.
so I'm out of Texas for a month and a half, right? And then I start to
Oh,
realize well, I mean, I've only been not living in Texas since July, but when it was I've been out of Texas for a month and a half and I'm like, wait, everybody doesn't think Texas is the greatest place in the world. I didn't realize it. I had no idea. I just thought that was common knowledge. Texas is the Holy Land. Y'all didn't.
well, I grew up in the Midwest and I went to school in the South. So I loved Texas until 2016. And then it's you can't get high there in Texas, right?
You can't do anything in Texas. I mean,
Except for buy
that's
a
the
gun, walk out and shoot people in Walmart. But I
oh,
digress.
we allow that. I mean, honestly, we moved to Colorado so we could do what we wanted to with our bodies. And
Mm.
also so that other people, I wanted my tax money to be in a place where my tax money was supporting things I wanted it to support.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That just felt important to me. And it's hard because that's a really privileged decision to make too.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to say that's what I want to well, and a lot of people are like, yeah, I have no choice. And I get that. That comes from privilege. And you moved from Midwest to California. That was
I've lived all over, and we actually
yeah.
moved here from Philly. We were there for a decade. So I was born and raised in a small town called Waterloo, Illinois, which is Southern Illinois, not
That's a
Chicago. People
good
were like, "Oh,
name.
you're from Chicago." I'm like, "No, there's Chicago, and then there's all of Illinois."
Mhm.
Small town, farmland. It was just whatever. It was how I was raised. Went to school when I was 18 in Kentucky. I went to Murray State. Racers, yeehaw! That's the only thing I remember about it. But Midwest and South, and my mom's a Christian. She grew up in Kentucky, so it was the Bible Belt. That whole mindset was just right there. It's how I was raised. So, growing up, I was also raised to be, I thought, a feminist, but in reality, my mom, no, my mom was raising me to be an independent woman, and I'm like, but I'm pro-female. So, what do you mean? Because she just wasn't there.
And what's crazy is that we didn't even know, our moms didn't even realize what they were doing. And I feel like it just started happening that women are finally saying, hey, we don't need to cook, clean, and do all the work. There's a line there. We can share this stuff. But I think what happened was women when they went into the workplace, they were okay, I want to work. And they're like, okay, but you still have to do your cleaning. And then I didn't agree to that. They agreed to that. So like,
no, I'm just
let's
shaking
bring
my
this
head
back.
like, really? I'll do it because I want to, not because I have
That's
to.
what I'm saying. Hey, I like a clean house. I'm like, that's my thing, you know? Like I want things to be clean and organized, but I don't want anyone to tell me. Literally the second someone starts to tell me I have to do something, I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
and
so
you know, how do we get on politics? We're high.
I don't know, but I'm
We're
changing that. I know. Well, you know what happens sometimes? The thing is like,
I'm not really
if you don't agree with the politics of us right now, though, like you're probably not listening to this podcast. Like you're probably not listening to the weed podcast. So that it really solves a lot of problems.
Right. Well, you know,
they're already gone.
Because you're right. When I moved, my dog is like really annoying, so she'll sit here and do this all day long. But
she loves you. She's this high. Yeah.
She's beastly. She's such a big dog, but she's so soft. I moved here from Philly. Now I grew up in the Midwest, you know, very different. Met my husband in Chicago. I had $100 to my name and I moved to Chicago to be on the air. So I was on the radio there after living in Virginia and Tennessee. So I've lived in all of these different states, but nothing comes even a 100th of the wonderfulness that I live out here in California. Like it,
man.
I mean, people care about each other out here. And where I'm from, they're so angry and they feel so left out and so mistreated. And it's just kind of like, my parents moved from there just recently. And I was
so weird. And people care here too. They just care about each other. And suddenly like, it's weird too, because it's a lot of people don't have their traditional family like you see in the South, where you have, you know, like you're always go to your grandma's and always do this, always do that. But it's almost like they've made their own families. And I just love that, especially as someone who has like a broken family. Like that makes me really happy, you know, because you feel in the South, it's like when you have a broken family, it's your job to go and get in another family. Like that's what you're supposed to do. And that's not the case.
The addictions like this, you don't have sex till you're married and don't take drugs. Like there is real life happening and there are people who are not okay and they need to be supported. And, you know, not to go back to the politics, but I look at states like Texas where they're like, you're taking away my rights. You're taking away my rights. And my right of staying safe. Why is this person who's never been tested? How are they allowed to go buy a gun? And for me, then they're like, well, it's the mental health. I'm like, but you don't want to take care of people because we have $450 sessions for therapy. Like, where are we with this?
Literally, the therapist that finally, like, I remember when I didn't have insurance and it was right after 2020 COVID and I had to get therapy after I had weight loss surgery. Like that was the next thing I had to do. The only therapist I could see was $567 a session. Like that is insane. No wonder nobody's okay. Like, I mean, no wonder, like if $567, no matter what they tell you, if it costs that much money, you don't have it. I remember like saying that to her, like, it doesn't matter how good your advice is. If you're taking the money from my bank account and I can't afford you, this doesn't work. Like you're screwing me in other ways, you know? And it's like, she's like, yeah, but you know, you can take it from other things. I'm like, there is nothing else to take this from.
Well, and like then it starts messing with your head on top of what you need to be working on.
Yes.
I don't know. Because for me, I'm like, oh, I need to make more money so that I can get therapy. Or in reality, then I'm like, no, my kids need to eat, so I can't afford $450 therapy.
I just feel like that too. Like we were at a point, and I kind of think that like 2020 kind of changed everything. We were like, oh, if you need more money, just make it. Like that's what we had to do, right? And now I feel like we're all like, wait, what if I didn't? Like, what if I don't actually need the money that bad? What if I don't actually need to do that bad? What if we don't need 3 cars? What if we don't, you know, like, what if we don't need 9? And I mean, I think it's interesting. Like, I think our wardrobes or something, like suddenly that like the capsule wardrobe became a thing. That's what everybody's closet looked like 20 years ago.
Oh, really? You know? I avoid the internet like the plague lately.
And like, why though? Because it's stressful though, right?
It makes me so upset. And like, I don't care. I mean, honestly, Jamie, we did it for a long time. And I'm at a point now where I'm like, these little TikTok stars, when I was dancing on there, when it was Musically, and like, it's not bitter, but you and I built this. Like we built
isn't that weird
for them. And they're all The user-generated content, the UGC, is the dumbest mistake any content creator can make, because they're just giving away their purpose just so that they can get a stupid t-shirt. Like, they think it's cool, but it's gone.
And that's honestly the point behind what I'm doing, is that this company is, because I have been in this industry for so long, have just send me piles of stuff. I'm looking over here at this because there's literally a pile of stuff. And I was like, it was the dumbest stuff. And here's the thing. So you get a toothbrush in the mail, and that's actually where I started. I got a toothbrush and some toothpaste, and I thought, first off, some PR company,
Conversation Heart
company, they told them that this was a great idea. You're going to go viral. No one's going viral with a toothbrush. Everybody knows what it was. Not a special toothbrush. It was just a toothbrush. And so I'm like, you're screwing these companies. You're charging them for stupid stuff that doesn't make any sense. And then they're sending all of this out for the user-generated content so that I'll like do a fancy video with their toothbrush. And I'm like, this is
And they can put it on TV. You know, talking the business side of it all. It's like, if you're doing user-generated content, you are taking a brand's product. They have manipulated you to think that this is great. And then you promise to give something in return, which they can in turn use however you want, because you signed a contract that you didn't understand. And you're going to be a commercial one day. And you're not going to make those residuals, which is part of the reason why SAG-AFTRA, which is I'm a member of, just went off the rails. And thank God they did.
So
they saved a lot of us.
That's because, and the thing is that I think that people forget about is like, the interesting thing is like, they're like, yeah, but the big actors didn't need the money. That's not why they went on the record.
No,
they went on the record for those of us that are out here just working to make sure that like our healthcare is taken care of, and that we have the money to pay for this stuff, while with these weird residual situations, especially in the AI thing.
Are you SAG-AFTRA?
No, I don't think I can be.
Yes. They've started a whole content creator division for people like you. Yes. And I actually helped them begin with it with the local San Francisco chapter. They, you gotta love the pick your brain thing, but they wanted to offer it up to content creators, but expect them. To me, what I heard was, it's a privilege for you to be a content creator and be with us. And for me, I'm in radio. I didn't have to get the performance cards that you have to get to be able. I mean, I had no choice. I had to join the union, which is not cheap. But ultimately, like you said, what their goal is to take care of Bob, who is the stagehand, but also did a stand-in, and Sarah, who did an you know what I'm saying? Like, there's little things, and the streaming. Like, the reason why they went on strike was so that people like you and me could be protected in the future, even with other things, the digital side and the AI. Oh Lord, tell me what you think.
And that's creepy. Have you done that? Have you like asked it to do anything like in your voice yet?
No, I don't want to know.
So I am on the internet. Like, my voice is, I have a lot of writing on the internet. And so
me too. That's why I don't want to know.
It can completely write like me. And the thing is, it's funny is I've been using that as in my advantage. I'm like, let it start it and then I'll fix it. And I've let it write several things I've written, because I'm like, and I guess it knows me well enough to know what I want to say.
You write? All right. So you're doing a lot of writing still?
Well, I mean, if I just write like a blog post or whatever, I don't really do that much. Honestly, only every once in a while. Do you write anymore?
You are, but you are a rock star. Like, watching you and Holly explode in the way you collaborated together, and
it's really hard to be without Holly right now.
Oh, yeah. Now there's,
but I mean, I miss her
conversation. But when we did it, it was like, we're going to help each other. But you guys were so smart about it. You went towards the affiliate marketing side versus the typical.
It worked really well. I think, well, the reason that we have our mom blogs, and our mom blogs are still our most like steady income. But the reason the affiliate marketing was great is because like moms are always looking for like a job or a product to sell or something, but you don't want to deal with like the other end of that, which is like sourcing and all that other crap. And that's why moms love affiliate marketing. Yeah. But I think affiliate marketing got like a really bad rap just because a lot of people were being super predatory. I think there's a way to do it without being that way. Like, I totally still like get essential oils every month, but you wouldn't know that. I'm not going to like be like, hey guys, and all my friends are always like, can I order? I'm like, yeah, it's on my website. I just have a website where they order off of it if they wanted to, but they have to come to me, like there's another way to do it.
Would you say that's more MLM than, because to me, affiliate was I know that you guys used to drop, and maybe you still do. I avoid the internet.
That one was, I guess oils is MLM, but affiliate would be like, we do like Amazon affiliates and that's so the affiliate stuff is
right?
good. Oh, it is very successful. But the thing about affiliate marketing, and I actually don't even do sponsored content anymore. I only do affiliate, because the problem with sponsored content is, you're expected to say don't forget to mention it's delicious, and don't forget to mention it's creamy and all that other crap. Affiliate marketing, I get to say whatever I want, and I get to say I don't have to and not saying something is delicious and creamy. Like, they just want to make sure those words are said, and that's not genuine to me. Maybe it is delicious, and maybe it is creamy, and maybe I was gonna say that, but now I don't want to.
Well, the problem that I see with the affiliate marketing, and I did try that, but you guys are hustlers. You were at it 24/7, which I think at this point now you have the passive income that's been helpful, and you don't have to work as hard. For me,
oh, for sure.
I was doing all these different mediums, doing television at the same time, and then my goal was to help other people. So I started Reality Moms, and then
that
it was
cool though.
All of that I got to a point where I was trying to help so many people, but I couldn't help myself, that I literally, when I went back to radio, Real Mom Media was basically obsolete, because it was like I came back and I couldn't even get them past Facebook. I come back and I'm like, finally, y'all decided to like TikTok,
Yeah, right.
During COVID, because it was during COVID, and so it was just like,
man, people loved TikTok during COVID.
I know,
and see, TikTok's sad right now, just because I think it's become that TikTok shop thing, and it's really hard to be there, And I'm always really sad when I'm watching it, just because it used to be such a happy place, and I feel like they're just trying to monetize it, which happens to every social media. You just have to know that and be okay with it, But I mean, TikTok is still my personal first love. I'm sorry to all the other ones, but
no, it was mine. It was mine. And then it's the politics that comes in my feed. I don't know if it's because they know how much I hate Donald Trump. The rest of it is worth hearing about. But if you're going to go that direction, no. But
so I actually started my feed over. There's a way you can shake your phone or something. And now if it politics, because I had that happen to me too, right? Where it just turned into, and then my blood, my heart is beating fast. My blood is curdled. I can't, then TikTok becomes not where I need to be.
Yeah.
So what I do is so I started my feed over, and I do not stop on a political video at all. So that now when I go in, it's nothing's political. It's all just happy bunnies, and then also hilarious Gen X moms.
Okay. How'd you do that?
There's a way you shake your phone, or you you can go into the app or something. It's in the app. You can literally click refresh feed suggestions or something. I don't know.
You can say no politics and it won't give you any.
Yeah. And you can go in and then do that. And then I do this to my kid, by the way, just so that everybody knows that.
No, that's good to know. This stuff is really good to know, because there's people like me at this point where, and I think your daughter's close to my son's age, but he won't let me post anything on the internet. And it's so frustrating, because I'm like, dude, I made so much money off of you. You've been on Good Morning America, Today Show. You were so famous. Kiss my
There was
butt.
a point. Hallie did the same thing. She did the same thing. Literally, she was on all these fancy YouTube channels, everything, all this stuff. And then she just completely disappeared from the internet for a while. She was like, I can't be on the internet. And I totally get it. When you're a kid like that, that's tough. And then we couldn't even talk about them. And that was our whole lives. It was so hard to not talk about our kids, but I did it all. And that's why now I feel like I'm able to do this more. She's at college, so I'm finally able to be more myself and not be as worried about embarrassing her.
Yeah, that's interesting. That gives me hope, because he's everyone's, Joey, you're so funny. And then I go on and he's instantly texting me, Jamie, going, Mom, I can't believe you posted that. I'm like, just block me, kid. Well, I won't let him block me, but I'm like, I'll block all your friends. Give me the list. And then this is Instagram. He's not on Facebook, so I have no shame on what I post on Facebook.
That is why I love Facebook too, because Hallie's also not on Facebook. So now the funny thing is, since they all graduated from high school, they all got on Facebook, and I don't know why, but every single one of them signed up for Facebook. So now I'm like, I keep getting like these little friend requests from all of Allie's high school friends. I'm like, okay, I mean, welcome to the big show, kids.
Yeah.
This is where I'm actually myself. So
grab
maybe
a walker.
yeah, it's gonna get weird. Sorry.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so see what my shirt is?
So you're California. You are basically living in as cool of a state as I am, as far as weed is concerned, though.
Well, everything, I think. It drives me just, I don't know if I can cuss in your show, but
you can say whatever the fuck you want.
Okay. Drives me batshit crazy when I hear these talking points of people shit in the streets. And I'm like, what? Have you seen my view? That's a tiny little neighborhood called the Tenderloin in San Francisco, but the whole world took it because of, and it's like, is it gross?
We have that too here. We have that in Denver. And I mean, there's always,
you know what?
We also have it in Texas. Like, that's the thing. It wasn't any different in Dallas than it was in downtown. Downtown Dallas is way dirtier than downtown San Francisco. I've never understood why people say that these liberal places are, because no, you want to know the clean places are? San Francisco, LA, Denver, Colorado. These are the places I've been that are clean.
Yeah.
And Utah, which I know Utah is the cleanest place in the world. That one doesn't count. Yeah. They just keep it really, really clean there.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not really fair. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Sweet. What else is going on in your world? Like, besides doing, I mean, you have producers and you have all of this happening. Like, are you at a space where you're feeling good about everything, that you can enjoy yourself and not so much be on the internet?
So this is interesting because I think this is kind of where I am. I think this is what we need to be talking about right now in our lives, is as we become empty nesters and our kids grow up, our parents spent their entire time basically hiding us, right? But then we spent our entire time pushing our kids out and being like, our children are wonderful. But we kind of forgot about us a little bit. And yeah, a lot. And not in a bad way. I think we all had a lot of fun raising our kids, but now we're done. And so we're sitting here like, well, what do we do now? Like, what's the next thing? And I think it's really interesting. And I mean, like you're sitting here thinking about it too. You're like, I can't wait till I'm able to be myself on the internet, or I can't wait until. That's really cool. Like, what are you going to do? What are we going to do? I think that's what we need to be talking about right now. Like, what are we all going to do now?
I have changed so many different times. I've had so many switches, and I'm at a point now in my life where I love it instead of hating it, because I'd be like, oh God, I suck at this, and here we go again. Do I follow through? No, I'm an idea person, and my brain usually, while happy high, it just explodes in creativity, and
that's why you have to hire people.
I don't have the money to pay people. I'm not that cool anymore.
You have to you start so small.
I did. I had people. I had a whole team. Yeah.
And that's what's cool.
And I got tired of doing it, Jamie. I got tired of it. It just didn't want
to. But that's why I'm only doing what I want to do this time.
Yeah. I opened up a shop.
See, I don't want to shop.
Well, I don't want to. I won't ship now. I won't ship anything, but I'm doing.
So you open up a shop now?
No, don't ask me to ship anything. It won't make it. But I'm doing these pop-up markets and little craft fairs and things. And that's been demoralizing a bit because I'm not selling anything. But it's also been a learning experience, because I'm like, well, I'm not setting myself up to win. Why am I not? It's like, I have to set the stage for people to want to walk in here. And so I'm learning a lot that way. And I'm also being able to take the punches as well. But I'm also seeing and talking to people, humans with connection. It's not through the internet. And it's kind of like, I like this way more than being on the internet right now, especially while there's wars and people dying and craziness. It just has been such a gift. So I say, Garo, get off and do something fun. Are you there? Oh, you froze on me. Where'd she go? Oh my gosh, that's funny. Should I just stay here? Ooh, I'm at 3D. Did I lose her? I think she's still there. Or is that me or her? No, I'm all up. She's recording it, so I could just tell you how great Jamie is. I love Jamie. Jamie, I started following when she started Totally the Bomb. And I'm just going to keep talking until she comes back about her. She was extremely inspiring. And I started to do some stuff with Holly, and I watched how they collaborated and built this empire. Watched her Lululemon. No, what was it? Lala? I don't remember what it was. I bought quite a few. I liked them. I don't even know why that was such a weird deal, but there she is.
Yay!
You'll have to go
did you just keep going?
I was trying to find you. I was like,
yeah, she's like, I got this. Well, this is the part about living in the cool downtown, by the way, is that sometimes your internet doesn't work. So
yeah.
So what were you telling us about? I want to know everything.
I don't even remember now. What were we talking about? Just about what I learned about just getting out and having conversations with people and face to face and looking in their eyes and learning about them and what they like. And just like how we had a weird audience whenever we were building our stuff online, I'm trying to build an audience. And you know how demoralizing it was for many times in the beginning, where it's like, nobody even cares about me. Why would they do it? So this is kind of, it's challenge.
Weird it's weird in person too. Like I'm trying to make in-person connections in my life too, because I'm so good at making online connections. And I'm like, wait, in-person ones matter as well. And I almost don't know how to act. Like I'm so much better online than I am in person, because I've spent so much time perfecting who I'm actually myself online is what's really hard for me. But I feel like still in person, I'm not as much myself. Which one do you think you're more you?
Well, because I've stayed in the media spotlight, I am very, it's interesting because I said to my boss when I went back to radio, I started a week before the pandemic, and I said to him, I go, you gave me my voice back. And he just was like, okay, all right. But then I was like, but you don't understand, I was on the internet for a decade. Like I am speaking again. I'm not sitting in the living room just talking to myself. And
yes,
it was great for me. And it was a good start to being able to get out in the world. And for me, I was able to talk to, I was on the air 2021, and then I had to quit because my kids were a priority and mentally struggling, what every other parent was going through. But again, corporate America, they don't necessarily allow motherhood to be the most important. And they may say they will, and did.
No, but they don't. And it blows my mind. One of the girls I recently hired, she came from like working as a teacher, and she's just like, when I say to you, like, I need to go get my kid, like, you're like, cool. I mean, you're not she's like, I don't even tell, like if I needed to go get my kid, it would be like a thing. And here it's like, okay, whatever. I mean, we're not curing cancer here. It'll be fine.
Yeah. In the first year, it was like, I was so focused because it's a brand new job. It's 2020.
Oh my gosh.
I got to keep our life going. And
the kids are like Zooming and oh God. Yeah. That was crazy.
And then it really affected my son negatively. And that spring, one of his, not even though he probably is a downer here, but that spring, one of his good friends committed suicide. So that was when I was like, argh! And then in the fall, my roof in my house caved, and my boss had to get had back surgery. It's like anything you could imagine. And I said to myself, I am going to have a mental breakdown if I don't figure out how to handle this. And
and nobody's doing that. We're not saying, and that's what I think was interesting about 2020 is to say, I have to figure out a new plan.
Yeah.
And I think we're kind of reinventing ourselves now as like post 2020 people, because we kind of all were in survival mode. Like that's kind of, I don't know if you did that, but it was like the last 3 years have just been okay. But 2020, I'm ready to like do something for me. That's why I've started all this, because I feel like we've just been trying to, especially with our kids, just get them. And Hallie, same thing. I'm just going to get her to college. I'm just going to get whatever we could, because that was a really rough time for them. Yeah. And it was rough for us, but it was rough for them. That's a weird time.
Oh my gosh. Like I'm going to say this on record that 10 years from now, we better be prepared, because these kids, what they've experienced at that young age, then to have just conversations in TikTok, like I was terrified. And, when you don't work in corporate America for 10 years and you own your own business and you make your own decisions, it's like, okay, well, I'm just not going to work. If you don't work, you don't get paid. Right.
Right.
When somebody else owns you in corporate America, I was just like, what do you mean? And what? And so it was really, it was a job of a lifetime. It was a dream until it wasn't. And that was my kids in my life. And I was just thought, I was able to make a career out of motherhood and be highly successful. I will survive outside of this. And,
Isn't
now I'm
it
on
crazy
a
though that we
different
made
stage.
careers
Yeah.
out of motherhood? That's so
Right?
weird. But it's why we feel displaced now.
Yeah.
I'm like, my career was motherhood, and like she's and you know what? Great job, college, doing what she loves,
Yep.
having a great time, doing great grades. Like I did that, but now I'm like, oh yeah, my whole career was being like a
Yeah.
professional mother. Yeah, and like you were too. Like we were at Disney Moms, and suddenly we're in the Harry Potter world with we're doing all these cool
Yeah.
things, and our kids got to do stuff that no kids will ever. I mean,
And they
we've
don't
taken
remember. I was
Oh my
talking to my son
God.
the other day, and he's like, Mom, I don't remember Disneyland. I'm like, what are you talking about? These experiences people would die for. And he's like,
I
just don't
know.
remember. And I'm like,
And
I remember.
my daughter the other day though, she was like, I mean, Disneyland's okay, but it kind of sucks when you don't have unlimited fast passes.
Oh, it couldn't be any more spoiled. Like we don't. Yeah.
But they're right. They're not wrong.
No.
If you've ever been with unlimited fast passes, going without is really hard to do. They're not wrong.
Talk
but
about
you're
privilege.
I'm like, if you've never enjoyed Disneyland or Disney World with unlimited fast passes, you've never experienced it.
No,
Yeah.
But
do you remember the alligator thing that happened at Disney World? It was like right after, you remember that kid got eaten by the alligator right after we had been?
And yes, that was terrible.
And we had just been, and our kids had been playing on that one beach.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, don't worry, those are no alligators. I remember looking at Kevin going, I don't believe them, and grabbing Hallie and pulling her away from the water. And like, you just think like, if you were that mom, she thinks about that every day. The kids were all playing out by the water, and they were like, oh, it's fine, there's no alligators. And I was like, I don't think I've ever seen a more alligator looking water in my life. I'm not, get away from Florida.
Doesn't everything have alligators in Florida? They've just got water.
That's all I know. Yeah, that's how I thought it was. I love Florida though, but Florida's really frustrating because now I'm only going to. I love Florida because it's so politically incorrect right now, but it's so gorgeous.
It's 180 degrees where your hair gets curly and puffy, and your kids don't have any books when they go to school to learn anything for them to think for themselves. Like
that's the problem. They've taken this place with this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful beach, and they've ruined it. And it makes me really mad because I just want to enjoy the beach, but I don't even want to go there anymore. I'm serious. I've turned down 4 media events in Florida this year.
You have purple hair. They may not like you there.
That's why. And I'm married to a black man. Yeah, we're good. We're good. No, and I'm honest with them when I turn them down. Yeah, he's half, but yeah. So no, I'm honest with them when I turn them down. Is I'm like, we're not coming because of the political climate. We don't feel comfortable there. And people are like, I totally understand. And I appreciate you for saying that. They let the brands know, especially Disney. Disney is like, they're dealing with it right now,
Yeah. It's really
sad.
But I mean, the whole thing is just.
Yeah.
But I live in California and you live in Colorado and we love life.
Can we just talk about what San Francisco looks like on 420? It was the cutest. I saw the cutest video and it was like the park of San Francisco, and it was like before at 420 on 420, and the park started off like nobody was there at like 1:15, and as it got closer, and then the park was just full, and then at 420 it just turned into a big cloud of smoke, and I was like, this is where the fun is, people.
Where I live, it's where the potheads are. Where I live in Marin, Mill Valley, that's where the term 420 came from. It was just these 2 guys that I don't even remember the whole story, but they came up with it. And then they had, of course, back in the 60s, 70s, then they had the event that's in Golden Gate Park, which is now famously known for the 420 thing. I have never been, I don't think at my stage in life, I'm
what if I went with you? What if I went with you?
I'm not saying that I think it's wrong. Let me rephrase
No, but what if we just went together?
I'm in the media and I probably shouldn't be photographed or videoed standing around. Well, maybe. I don't know.
What if you should? That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, see, but would you ever say that at any point if it was a wine event? You wouldn't be like, I'm in the media. I should not be photographed next to that really nice wine event that happens every year. That's what I'm saying. And it's historically accurate, really cool and fun. And no, you'd be like, no, I want to go be a part of that really cool event that happens down in my city. So I'm saying we need to start that's how we need to start treating weed. Because like you don't drink, right? That's important
I haven't
to
had
you.
alcohol in 10 and a half years, but it makes me totally different. There's a
I don't
depressive
like
side of
drinking.
it that make me depressed where I cry all the time. And then this, it's like, I don't think I'd ever laughed harder.
I feel exactly. So, and what's funny is like living in Texas, you know, everybody drinks all the time and everything. And I'm like, and they look at me and they're like, well, you don't drink? And I'm like, no, I don't like the way it makes me feel. It makes me burpy. It's gross. It tastes bad. And I'm like, but I like if here, I'm like, I'm a stoner, so I'm cool. And it's like, well, what's
a stoner? Like, let's just talk about frequency here. What is Colorado like? Is it daily?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It depends on I would say, so when you're in California, you know how like other stuff is happening in California and then there's also weed? In Colorado, it's pretty much just weed. I watched a video. It was like, welcome to Colorado. Feel free to make your weed your entire personality here. We've all done it. Like, it's like,
oh, that's fun. Okay. I just, I think because I'm still born and raised in that society where it was like,
right.
The poor black man down the street would go to prison for life over cannabis while the other guy went and shot someone and he doesn't go to.
That's not as big a deal.
No. So I have that like, oh my gosh. Yes. So to know it's legal everywhere, that blows my mind. I'm like, this is weird. This is really weird.
I know. And it's nice too. Well, and the crazy thing is too, is like, it's way safer here than it is in Texas because I mean, I know how many milligrams.
A drunk person a gun or someone who's high. They don't want the gun. They want to laugh their ass off. Guns depressing.
That's so true. I would be like, I do not want to touch that. It's way too shiny. That's literally that's way too shiny for me to be.
To me, I'd look at it and go, that scares the hell out of me. I'm having a happy moment. Just get it out of my face.
That's a sad thing. And I think you're really, but I mean, and that's the thing here is it's in there too. It's interesting is like they start talking about like terpenes and they start talking about things like this can affect you this way and this can affect you this way. And I'm like, we've skipped an entire like world of pharmaceuticals by just skipping weed for all of this time. And again, it's totally political. And I think that's the issue. And I want us to help people, you know, and I want us to help each other. And I think that's going to be really important in the future.
But it's not what it was like when we were younger. This isn't like, hey man, give me some Cheetos. This is like
I could use some
highly
Cheetos,
creative humen beings that are changing the world with the way that they're able to use these cannabinoids to help. I mean, when I do it, sometimes I go exercise. Like I used to go to my hip hop classes highly.
It's the reason the reason I can walk 3 miles a day. Yeah. I mean, otherwise my ADHD would not let me wander town for 3 miles. You know what I mean? But like I can get high and I'm the same way. I get all my exercise in because like those are the rules. Get violently high, take a walk. That's how life is. Well, that's the best walk there is. Yeah.
I don't know, what your medicine of choice is, whether it's made out of or you smoke it or whatever. I had never done it in my life until I ate it. And it wasn't like a pop brownie from a party. It was like I walked in and I bought gummies because I heard that they were going to help me feel better from being a habitual depression person. And yes. Now, I did quit. I stopped drinking alcohol because I had postpartum depression with my oldest, my youngest, who's now 10 and a half. Almost. That's 11.
Why I stopped. Yeah. Same. Yeah. I didn't know. Interesting. Because it fucked with my head.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so for me, that and I found myself. So I was close to suicidal. Like it was an extremely terrible case of it. But that was in the time when we didn't talk about that. That was the Britney Spears shaving her head, going through some crazy psychosis postpartum.
And do you remember looking at her thinking, I totally get it. If you stole my kids away, even before we read her book.
Oh, I haven't read it.
I'm like, I get it.
I love her.
Oh, you need to read it. Yeah. I'm like, I got it. I'm like, if somebody took my kid away from me, I'd be nutters too. You know?
That and she like, they didn't, I look at like some of the, like I think it was Diane Sawyer who did the interview with her and Matt Lauer, and they just made her out to be this crazy psycho woman that put their baby in the front seat when in reality she was running away from danger, from fear, from harm. I would have.
Well, and what I want to know, I would have done I would have just gotten my babies out of there. And what's
Yes.
so frustrating to me about that is that I think that like they had like as interviewees, they had a responsibility to her that I
Mhm.
think they failed the person they were interviewing. And I think that's real. I think that's what I love about social media now is like it's not the Matt Lauers of the world that matter. Like
Yeah.
someone else could interview somebody and like get the real true story and
Mhm.
not the story that is want to be told. And I'm actually really happy that the Britney story is starting to be told because
Mhm.
forever we were all like, there's something fishy about this. And we were right, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Well, and the part
I
that
said,
makes me
right.
sad though is someone who's fought mental illness my whole life didn't even know it in my youth. I mean, I'm a theater
Yeah.
major. I'm creative. That's part of what my brain does.
Right, right,
But I'm on the depressive side, so things make me sad really easy.
right.
I found that people like her, and I look at it now, like people I admire. There's a morning show here in the market who I truly admire, and it's a woman that's the lead, and she's like, she's crazy. Somebody needs to take care of her. And I'm like, there's so much more to that. Is she behaving erratically online? Sure. Does she have a history of where she was treated like a child? Yes. Should
Yes.
people be concerned just in case because she's alone now? Sure. But whose business is it? It's not mine. And it's
Right.
definitely not the person who's going to sit there and say she's crazy and psycho. And for me, that makes me cringe and I have to turn on that station because I'm like, you have
Right.
no idea. You don't know what that's like. You have no idea what
And
that
like
woman went through.
we don't want her to self-isolate and we don't want those things for her
No.
also, but like someone who's been in the public eye, like we don't know what she needs. I'm not Britney Spears. Who
Yeah.
knows? Who knows what it's like to live that person's life? That
Yeah.
life will never exist for any other human ever. It's like the same thing, you know, my husband says too, like Taylor Swift is the same way. He's like, you can always tell she goes through depression because of her lyrics and like you can feel it in her lyrics.
Mm.
And he's like, but she's the same way. She spends a lot of time away from people and then people just make stuff up. And I think that's really hard for women because it's
Yeah.
like women aren't allowed to ever leave their bubble, you know?
Oh no. I mean, growing up in the radio industry, it's a man's
Yeah.
world. I always think of it like the old white guy in the corner office is has
Well, and
that
you guys
changed?
are just the
Yes.
color. Yeah.
Well, it's changed a lot. I wouldn't say it's
Right.
changed way behind in many, many things, but I do see women having a higher opportunity. But I think that's also like universal through every, corporate America piece. Like I'm seeing women rise to the top, but now we've got this ridiculous expectation of, well, you're up here, you got what you wanted. Now go and like you and I. And for me, I'm like, I've done all these great things. I just did a morning show in the fourth largest market in the country, and I had been off the industry for 10 years. Like I was so proud of myself. But I look at it
Isn't
now and
it?
I'm like, I don't want to work for somebody else again if I don't have
Yeah.
to. That's
Yeah.
hard.
It's really hard. It's really hard to just like understand that because you have these opportunities and you get them placed in front of you and I'm like, wait, that wouldn't be that's not my happiest. And
Mm-mm.
especially with money too. And I mean, and again, it's a privileged thing to be able to say, well, this would make less money, but it is still enough that my family could survive and I would be way happier doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a
Sure.
weird decision to be able to make, but I think it's going to be really interesting to see what our kids do after having
Mm-hmm.
seen us making those decisions. Because I feel like our parents were just surviving,
Yeah.
and
Well,
we've been able to
yeah.
take it up a notch.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe.
I
I
don't know
don't
about you,
know.
but I was just surviving. I'm always just surviving. That's just the way my brain works. But
But
yeah,
you
no,
are telling your kids that it's okay to be creative.
yeah. Well, and it's okay to
That's
not be okay. If you're sad, you
and
need to
that
feel
it's
that.
okay to say what you need to be. And when I say creative, I mean like they're okay to like not live in this bubble of must make money, must do this, must do that. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to live your lives and experience all these different things. And our parents were like, live in this one bubble. And we're like,
Mm.
no, kids, it's okay that you aren't in a bubble. I think that's what we've given our kids.
There's been a
We
lot of people that have like, well, and I hear it in the in the boomer generation, um, which is my mom. No,
same. Yeah.
and they all say, "Oh, y'all are lazy," and those kids are lazy. And I'm like, no, they're just not going to put up with your old people shit. They're just going to stand up for themselves, and that's what that is. And so
Well,
for
and
me, it's
like
like I hear that and I think, well, what do you want us to be? We're stuck in the middle. What do you want my kid to be? How do you want my kid to be? they've already,
And
I've
also,
heard
though,
people say that
lazy for what?
9/11 was not a bad thing, or was
Yeah.
I'm like, you can't put 9/11 and COVID together. We loved each other after that. Nobody liked
Yes.
anybody.
This was
Not the
super
same.
weird. But that's what I'm saying about the lazy thing is, like, what is wrong with not doing anything? I don't understand that. I can't figure that out. Like, wait, are all your basic needs met? Is everything taken care of? Are you taking some time off? That should be allowed. Why should you be forced to do something else?
They worked harder. We work smarter.
Yes. Ooh, that's perfect. I would say on that note, at the like 45-minute of this glorious podcast, you should now tell us what we need to know about you. Like if you were going to tell us like the one thing about you that is the thing about you, and you only have 5 floors to tell me before I get off the elevator, but I'm going to be your best friend for life after you tell me this. What is it?
Is this a professional thing or is this a Joey thing?
This is you. You want me to hang out with you for the rest of your life. You have 5 floors to convince me. It doesn't matter. Whatever you think is the best way to get me.
Oh, shit. You just put me on the spot here.
That's the point.
Mom's on the spot. I live in California, and my son goes to school where Tupac went. And I live over a mountain where they started 420 and mountain biking, which I don't really do unless it has an electric bike on it, because that's the best thing to do around here, because you go up and down all these hills. But I overlook a beautiful bay, and you're Coloradoan now. So we're both C's. Come and see me.
I know you're right. I have to come see you. Okay. I mean, I would be your friend for life just because this is very important. She was doing hip hop before hip hop was cool, and you're good at it. Have you done it lately?
You know,
have you done any hip hop lately?
The guy he's one of my nearest and dearest friends. He was a 27-year-old kid when I met him. It was like 6 years ago. And he just stopped teaching, and it's just not the same. And so I think that there was just this community that I built when I first moved here. And then the internet took off, like TikTok. And I was like, I'll just do your thing. And I'm just going to.
But you need your hip hop. You should start a hip hop crew. Gen X Moms hip hop crew.
Yeah. I have one called In Living Mother. I should send you some links. I made all these videos, at that point.
I'm excited.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll send it to you.
I'm in. I want to learn hip hop. That's actually something I want to learn to do.
They have it there.
I'm sure.
Okay, I'm going to look. Colorado Springs?
Yes, I'm in the Springs. Downtown. I like things to be downtown. Okay. All right. So she lives in Colorado, and she's really cool. We should follow Joey Fortman everywhere. And you're also on the radio. Where are you on the radio?
I am a reporter, and I do traffic on KCBS, which is 106.9 FM. And it's in San Francisco, the 4th largest market in the country. And I'm very proud because we were the legendary station of the year, which means the whole world we beat.
What do you do? Like, can you just do like a little bit of traffic reporting for us right now?
Your next traffic update at 12:58 on the traffic KCBS.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being on my podcast. And hi, it's nice to meet you. I'm going to push end recording now.
Jamie, it's hi. It's nice to meet you.